Awesome. All right, ladies. So we'll get started for tonight. So we are focusing on all things social media. So we're going to kind of give you an idea of so when we all kind of started, there was this sort of like post 3 to 5 times a day. There was all these rules, right? Now we're finding that it's totally taking a different turn, mostly toward Instagram. Obviously, Facebook is super important, and we're all going to keep Facebook around for our challenge groups. We're still going to keep posting on Facebook, but it seems that everything is kind of shifted towards Instagram. And that might change again. But again, when we're using social media to kind of market ourselves, market our business, we need to
Oh,
move with.
Jesus. Sorry, Nell. Come on.
That's okay.
Oh my God. Am I not muted? I don't know what's going on.
No, it's okay.
Okay, 1 second. Fuck.
There. So we just kind of need to like adjust with the times. And right now it seems like we don't need to be posting 3 to 5 times a day. And we're going to Jen's going to kind of get onto that and get onto what we need to do for posting. What I am going to kind of focus on tonight is Insta stories. And I know everybody's kind of probably thinking, oh my God, Insta stories can be so overwhelming. But don't think of it that way. You don't need to think about it that you're getting on there all the time, talking live, nothing like that. You can totally utilize it in 1,000 different ways. But what I'm finding is people aren't necessarily scrolling Instagram, or maybe your posts aren't exactly eye-catching to one particular person, so they're just scrolling on past you. But what people are viewing is Insta stories. And the beauty of it is you can see who's viewing your Insta stories. So you can kind of get an idea of your numbers, which is amazing, because I know, like, who doesn't make a post and then think like, I have no idea how many people saw this. I have no idea if anyone even saw it. I got 3 likes on it, but maybe other people saw it and just said nothing. So really, I feel like Insta stories is kind of a big deal right now. So I want everybody to kind of like take a step back and take the intimidation factor out of it. Okay. You honestly don't need to get on there and do videos all the time if that's not your comfort zone. I would highly recommend it, because like I'm going to kind of touch on later, I feel like in this business, because people want to sign up with you, they're choosing you to sign up with, and Insta stories is kind of like an instant gateway to seeing you and your life and how you work out and how you meal prep and all these different things. And it's just kind of like little tidbits of your life, but they get to see who they're signing up with or who they might want to sign up with by watching your Insta stories. So yeah, if you're not comfortable with videos right now, that's totally cool. That's fine. You can kind of settle into something like that. But I do recommend kind of like giving it a thought at least, but I get if some people are a little intimidated with it. So what I wanted to touch on, if you aren't totally comfortable with doing the whole like video, talking to people, sharing with people what it is that you have to offer, there's so many different options. So I don't know, I'm going to throw this out here right now too. If everybody is not already following Jatana Jackson or Haley Christian, you guys need to be. So they both kind of offer like a broad, so Jatana kind of has her own way of doing it, and Haley has her own way of doing it. So I feel like they give you 2 different examples of what you could be doing in your Insta stories. So I'm going to kind of also talk a little bit about what I do in my Insta stories too. So I'll kind of touch on them, and I'll kind of touch on me, and just kind of give you like little ideas here and there. So another, like, one thing you can do, so we all love our quotes. We all love our positivity. That can be used in your Insta stories. I know Jatana does this often. I use this like amazing selfie, but have your call to action or your talking about what you do as a coach with your face. So if you're not comfortable with doing those videos, then people are still seeing you and seeing your brand and then what you have to offer them. Or just even like, it doesn't even have to be your face. Like there's awesome apps where it can just be your wording but it's telling people your call to action or talking about your coach business or different things like that, or your challenge groups that are coming up. Like it's the perfect place to introduce everything, right? Because it's such high traffic there. So I'm just going to give you like a few little tips. So some of my tips with my Insta stories, you need to keep it fun. You can't, it needs to be something that people kind of like I know personally, I look forward to in the morning looking at Jatana's stories because I know that there's going to be dancing. I know that it's going to include her pre-workout. I know I'm going to see like some sweet moves with her workouts. You just kind of know what to expect, but it's like high energy, fun all the time. You need to keep it informative. So because this seems to be where it's high traffic, where people are watching, where you can kind of monitor who's watching it, you need to keep it informative. So don't keep it business all the time. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that thrown in their face all the time. But in between all that fun, family life, your day, all of that stuff, you need to kind of keep some information in there so that you're catching them with the fun stuff, but then informing them with what you have to offer personally. Also, keep it you. Like, so we all have our favorite coaches that we all kind of watch or follow. Take tidbits from them, absolutely. Take little tips from them, take different things that they do, but then make it yours and make it kind of what your brand is. So I know I focus a lot on moms because that's where I'm at, right? And I focus on like a big thing you guys see on my stories every single day is my coffee, because coffee is life right now. When you have twins that don't sleep, coffee is friggin' life. So that's one of my things. And I've had people reach out to me and be like, oh my God, I feel you. Like, I can't get through the day without my coffee. But then they'll say, then I saw that you're totally working on the booty that you don't have yet. How do I do that? And I can't tell you guys, since I've really thrown myself into my Insta stories, it's probably for sure once a day I get messages from complete strangers being like, so I watched your Insta story and I am 42 years old and I have 3 kids and I want a booty back. It's time. I need it. And like, how cool is that people just saw me talking about I need a booty and they want a booty too. So keep it you. Keep it what is important to you, not what's important to somebody else, because that's not going to come through as, if you're talking in a video, it's not going to come through as like genuine and what you want. So keep it totally just genuine and you. And as I said before, don't make it all business. Like, yes, we definitely use our social media for business and to reach out to different people, but people are going to get sick of that pretty quickly, and they're going to be like, who is this girl? Like, is she even human, or is she some sort of like working robot? Because that's all she talks about. So definitely like show little tidbits of your life in between there, as much as you're comfortable with. Because I don't know, like some people, as their followings start growing, you kind of start thinking, do I want to show my kids all the time? That's totally up to you. But I just recommend, me and Jen have talked about this before too, that, oh shoot, we've done like 4 posts that are all business and I haven't talked about anything in my life. So just keep that in mind, even in your Insta stories as well, because it's honestly going to be the funny times in your life, the silly things your kids do, the like screw ups you do in your workout that attract people. And then you're going to have the little tidbits of information in between that's totally going to kind of keep people going, right? And keep people coming back to see your stories, to see what you need to talk to them about. So I totally lost my spot. I have it all jotted down what I want to talk to you guys about, and I just like got on a little rampage there of talking. Okay, so I know a lot of us too, I just recently, so I was posting my workouts in my Insta stories. I just stopped doing that just because I wanted a video in my profile every day. But that's like an amazing thing to do. Like, even if you just choose like 3 of your favorite moves from the workout, so awesome. It's like a little teaser for everybody. Like, oh my gosh, I want to see more of what she just did. So that is like, I know a few of us are totally utilizing that, and I think it's awesome. Like, keep going with that, girls. That's just like, the little teasers are totally where it's at. So those workouts, show your positives from them, but even better, show your failures or your struggles. because people don't want to sign up with a robot. People want to sign up with a real person, right? So I remember, sorry, Jenny, I'm going to use you as an example. I remember a while back you busted a band, and you could have totally just kept it a secret and been like, oh, my workout was flawless. It was perfect. But no, like you posted the most amazing video about your band busting. I thought that was awesome. And that always stands out in my mind because it probably like had so many people, I don't want to say laughing at you, but laughing with you about it, right? So I just think stories are the perfect opportunity to keep it real, to show your life, to totally focus on little aspects of business, but to just like, this is your opportunity to show who you are and what you have to offer. So you can show all the selfies in the world, but I just feel like it's just another picture where you jump on your stories, that's where it gets real, right? If you're going to talk, if you're going to show your pictures with all your information, if you're going to show your day, if you're going to show what your mom life is like or what your life is like with your dogs, your cats, like whatever, right? Like people want to see that. People want to see that you are a person. I think Insta Stories is like the perfect place to do it. So some apps that I love to use. So a huge, huge app for all the iPhone users, because I know that it's not available on Android yet, is HypeType. It's like no other. Everybody needs to get HypeType. It costs, you have to pay for it. It's not a lot, I don't believe. I can't remember what it is, but I highly recommend HypeType. Your Insta Stories, it's a game changer. So what HypeType does is, I'll give you just like a quick little run through. So you can use HypeType to make a video, or you can just use your camera and open it up in HypeType. So when I do my shakes or my morning coffee videos, I'm using HypeType to add that music, add like whatever font I'm doing, that's HypeType. And it's like, so it's one thing to just like, it's amazing. You literally have access to every song without paying for it, which kind of sounds crazy, I know. But this will be a game changer for your Insta Stories or even your posts on your wall, just anything. I highly recommend, if you have an Apple device, you need HypeType. Another amazing one is WordSwag. So I use WordSwag for posts in my challenge group, posts on my page, but I also use it for my Insta Stories. So, oh my God, does everybody keep seeing everybody hop around on the screen? Or is it just me seeing that? Another one I used, was WordSwag. So that is where, if I'm just like having a day where I'm like, I don't feel like talking on videos, or if I've already talked and people have heard enough of my voice for one day, but I think like, oh my gosh, I wanted to mention that I have this challenge group coming up. WordSwag is where it's at. It's like, again, you have to pay for it, but it has amazing tools in it. It has the greatest fonts. It has the greatest background. You can use your own photos. It's an awesome one. And I know like we don't want to be like we don't necessarily want to be dropping a ton of money in our business necessarily. You might be at that point, but some of these apps, I kind of feel like you really, 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 really want. It's just to look more professional and not have like made by whatever the app is in the corner is kind of a big deal too. What's another one? Oh, Splice. So I struggled for ages at finding a good video editor. And when I decided that I was going to post little tidbits of my workout or little sneak peeks of my workout every day, I was like, I need to get a better video editor. So Splice is awesome. It took me a little bit to get onto. It is free, but it has music in it. It's like, it's fine. I wouldn't necessarily want it in my Insta Stories because it's not music with words or anything, but it totally works for the videos. And it has the option, you just click, you choose your video, you click the plus sign to add it. Then your video is right there and you add edit. So sometimes when I'm working out, I'll be like, I don't want to show this move on my workout, so I'll stop recording. Then I'll be like, but I do want to show these 3 workouts on my video, so I'll hit record again. Well, then I'm left with like 5 videos that I don't want to post 5 different videos or whatever. Splice, you can edit them all together. So when you're going in to choose your video, you can click numerous videos and you edit them, and then they will all smoothly run into each other. You can click a song from any genre and that'll play kind of in the background. You can speed it up, you can slow it down. There's all kinds of options, and it is free. So totally take advantage of that one. I found it kind of the easiest to operate. Like some of the other ones for videos were just silly. So even when I do my shake videos for my Instagram stories and I do my coffee videos, there's always that moment where you're like hitting record or you're hitting to stop it. Like I do have one of the clickers, but the battery's dead. So that is another option. But it's as simple as using a program like Splice. I take out the first second, the last couple seconds, I speed it up, and then I take it into my hype type and ready to post on Instagram. So I just think like adding that extra like little magic, that little sparkle to your videos is what's going to stand out to people. So totally up to you, but these apps are totally at your disposal. So why not use them? Another one I use, because a long time ago, not so long ago, like the summer, a top coach said to me that yes, it's wonderful to post your pictures and be able to say that there's like nothing on, you did nothing to it, there's no anything on it. But then there's another thing where you can totally use these apps and take advantage of them, and your picture is going to stand out next to somebody else's. So another one I use for that is Live Collage. So it's also free. It's awesome. I just kind of have like my own little style. If you go to my wall, you'll see that like my photos always have a blur up the side, and it's always generally like 1, 2, or 3 different filters. So, and I in turn use that too in my stories. So my stories are generally filtered by me, not necessarily by Insta stories. So there are some good filters in there though. So I do use those sometimes, but Live Collage is a good one. Then this is, I'm not sure if Jen's going to touch on this, but I'm just going to mention in case she doesn't touch on this, Hootsuite. Are you touching on it, Jen? No? Okay, so Hootsuite is one that you guys all should take a look at. This is not Insta Stories, but I just wanted to bring it up. If you're ever struggling to get your posts out there, post on your challenge groups, any of that, that is the perfect thing to use because you can time out your posts, you can time when you want them to drop in the page, all of that stuff. So when I was going over my apps that I use, I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that to you guys because it does make life a little easier. If you're working, if you have kids' sports to be at, if you just have somewhere to be, but you know you want to drop something in your page at a certain time, Hootsuite is amazing. You can pay for it, but it's not necessary. You can have like up to, I think it's 2 or 3 different pages on it before you have to pay for it. So it's awesome. Take advantage of it, girls. It'll make your life easier. Sometimes I go weeks without using it. Other times I use it 5 times a day. So it's totally, I wanted to drop that in here too. Another thing I wanted to touch on with Instagram stories. So this is one of Jatana Jackson's little things that she does. So I don't know if you've noticed it on mine and Jen's profile pictures and on Jatana's profile picture, but even when you've already seen our Instagram stories, we still have the Instagram symbol like we have Instagram stories to tell. So the reason why we do that, we used a photo editor to get it like that. So if you're looking at your Instagram stories, whose is going to pop out first? The person with the thicker one or the people who don't have one because you've already viewed their stories? So it just kind of gives you that like extra pop when people are looking at Instagram stories. So I have an app that you can do that in. If you guys would like that done, shoot me a picture through like whatever profile picture you'd like to use. Send it to me through Facebook Messenger, and I will send you back a picture with that so that everybody, like, it's literally basically all the app is good for. So we might as well use mine instead of everybody go out and get it. So just if that's something you guys want, just send me what picture you want to use and I'll send it back to you. And then everybody can be utilizing this on Instagram and be standing out in the line of stories. So I just kind of want to quick sum up the Instagram stories and just like some kind of little ideas that you could be doing on your Instagram stories. So this is like the perfect spot for call to actions. So meaning that we have a, like, what is coaching coming up, that we have any coaching event, that you have any challenge groups starting, any of the goodness that we all offer. This is the perfect spot to do it, okay? Because if people are viewing your everyday life, throw that call to action in there and they're going to hear it. And if they hear it 10 times and then finally talk to you, perfect. This is a great spot for your workouts. But I would not show every single move because then you're just giving away your workout. Keep it as like a little sneak peek. Choose 3-4 moves that you love and post it up there. Funny things. So just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that stupid thing. Post it because somebody's going to be like put it in your stories that, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe this. I just went to reach for my sugar and it spilled all over my counter. Has this, like, who hasn't done this before? Like, people love that. People love to see that you're real. If you're comfortable with it, post your family. People want to see that we're, like, honestly, I know I said this already in the video, that we're not these like robot coaches. They want to see that you are juggling all these different things while being a coach. So post like, oh, I just got off of a night shift and I'm totally exhausted, but guess what? I'm going to get that workout in. Or guess what? I'm still going on a team call, or I'm still emptying out my message box because this is important to me. People just want to see that you have a real life outside of just working out and being a coach. So if you have the option, totally post the real stuff, guys. If you're comfortable with it, I 1000% recommend you getting on there and talking. I know that some of you already do this, and that's so amazing. But if you are comfortable with it, I highly recommend that being your way to do a call to action or talking about your challenge groups, because how much better is it going to sound? It looks pretty and it totally works. It looks pretty. Sorry, Sam, I just saw your message. It looks pretty and it does work to do like the font and to have that where people can flip through your Insta stories. It's awesome. That's totally an option. But how much better does it sound when somebody hears you saying, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited. Last week, I could not do the push-ups in my workout, but this week, bam, I did it. How much, like, people just love hearing those things and love hearing you say it. Or even if it's a struggle, you can be like, guys, I only got one more push-up out of it. I didn't finish it, but guess what? Stay tuned for next week because I will finish it next week. So watch my Insta stories for that, right? People want to hear you. People want to know that you're real and that you're not just a really good selfie taker and look awesome in pictures. Also, another option, as I said before, I really find even if you're not comfortable getting on talking, your face with all the information. So Jatana's done it for sure. She's where I got the idea. I've done it where you can just like have a cute picture of you and it's off to the side and then there's room for your text beside you. That's a good option too. And then just the informative slides. They totally work. Totally work. I know one thing that Jatana said is, and I think this is why she loves Hype Type. She's saying don't get too crazy with like the cartoons and like the emoticons. Like, don't go too crazy with it. Like, yes, it's so cute, but don't overdo it, or that's what people are looking at and they're not actually looking at your Insta story. And like the content that actually matters isn't standing out as much. So That's another option. And there's just like, there's so many things. I guess, is everybody kind of familiar with the basics of Insta stories? Like, for instance, I don't know if you guys have ever tried, so I know, I'm just going to throw out another option. So this one, I was like, how are people doing this? And it like totally went over my head for the longest time. And I don't know why. I think I just didn't think about it, or I thought, what app are they using? So have you ever seen where you have your picture, you have your first line, and then you click to the next one and there's more text added, and the next one and there's more text added? Does everybody know how to do that? So it's basically just, so personally, I have my Insta stories saved into my pictures. So this is easy for me. If you don't have that, it's as simple as making your first one. So say you're having like, hey, as your first line, screenshot that, bring it up for your next Insta story, add the next line, and keep doing it until you've got across what it is that you're trying to say. I don't know why that went over my head for the longest time, but that's a cool way too, because it's like things are flashing up for people and things are looking exciting. Yes, I think so. And then the basics of Instagram or stories, everybody knows that there's filters if you swipe from left to right when you're in your stories. At the top, I personally like to make my writing not bolded. So I hope everybody knows, like, if you touch the top A in the square, if you touch it twice, it still stays with color, but you can see through it. So it kind of isn't taking away from your photo then. So it's still, your photo is the focus and then the information's still there. So that's what I personally like to do with my stories. But again, that's me. That might not be you. And then if you're doing something that doesn't work for you, it's not as genuine. So that's my big thing. Keep these Insta stories fun. Keep it genuine. Keep it you. Utilize the apps. It is like total game changer. Music, all of that. Words flashing up. Keep it fun. Keep it fancy. People want to see that. People want to. Another thing, sorry, I'm just going to touch on quick. I highly recommend kind of getting a routine with your Insta stories. Plan them out. Kind of, so this is totally not a big deal, but one of my things is beginning of the day, you will see my coffee. Close to the end of the day, you will see my shake, and you will see my life all in between. So that's kind of like, people do come to expect that. So if you kind of get something that's yours, I know Haley already kind of has some things that are hers that I totally know when I click on Haley, there's certain things that I'm going to see with her. And that's great. I think everybody, I think that's another thing too, that you can kind of like brand it and trademark it as yours. So plan it out, get some consistency, but have fun with it. And in between the planning, put those real life moments. So I think that's all I have for Instagram stories, but I think Jen just disappeared. Yeah, question away.
What's the swipe up in Insta?
Okay, so you can't get the swipe up option until you have 10,000 followers. So that is why everybody wants to build their following, because the swipe up option is so convenient. It's like, it's just, to be able to say swipe up is awesome, right? So that's just another push to build to 10,000 followers.
Okay.
That is what that is. Does anybody else have any questions about Insta stories? And then we can go on.
For me to do that?
That's okay. Is everybody good for Insta stories? Even if you think of something by the end, you can just ask.
Okay. This is random. This isn't about Insta stories. I'm just unmuted, so I'll just tell you guys. And if I'm yelling, I'm sorry. Am I yelling?
You're not yelling.
Okay.
It's not as terrifying as before.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. For people that use Snapchat, there's a swipe up option, and you can add your URL, and you can add like your team link or something for that if you use Snapchat. Just
awesome.
Saying. Yeah.
That's
okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna mute my.
Okay. All right. So Jen, you can take it away if you want.
All right. That was awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
So many good little nuggets. I'm like so sore all of a sudden, you guys. I'm really struggling to sit. So
Anyway, okay. So Naomi talked about Instagram stories. So tonight's call, as we mentioned, is going to be kind of everything social media. And then throughout the week, we're going to continue like posting. Every day we're going to post something in the team page. It's kind of social media related, you know, any tips, tricks we have, things like that. And if you guys have anything, please, that's what the team page is for. You know, if you have posts or anything that worked well for you, share them. You know, we're all kind of here to help each other. So, and you know, what works for one person doesn't always work for the other. So it's always good to have different, you know, ideas, options floating around. So I'm going to talk about posting. Posting, like Naomi said in the beginning, it has changed. Like social media has shifted so much since I started as a coach. I've been coaching almost 3 years. And when I joined, Instagram stories did not exist. Facebook stories did not exist. It was just like focus on your 3 to 5 like posts a day. That was like the big hype. It was like post 3 times a day, post 3 times a day. Like that's all you ever heard on training calls and stuff. And even Instagram wasn't that big. Like I never focused on it. I didn't focus on growing my followers. I didn't follow people. I was just like strictly Facebook. But this past year, I find it has shifted so much that you have to go with it. You know what I mean? Like you can't, unfortunately, like you can't just stay with Facebook if you want to be successful with this, because people are really moving over to Instagram. And I've heard a few different reasons as to why. Like a lot of people said since the election, things got super negative on Facebook and people were feeling like it was either negative or just like MLM company after MLM company after MLM company. So people aren't, I don't know, those of you that have coached a while might notice engagement on Facebook has dropped a lot. I noticed that big time. So that's why we kind of wanted to touch on this, because if you aren't focusing on Instagram, you should start. And like, don't feel like you're behind. Like I just kind of started focusing on it in November, and I've just kind of started learning all of this stuff and kind of what works and what doesn't. So if you didn't see the post I did the other day on just how to grow your followers, check it out in the team page. That's spend $1.80 on Instagram. That works huge, you guys. I've grown my following like almost 5,000 since November on Instagram. And like, I haven't paid for anything. Haley and I, she knows, we tried to buy followers one time. Like we didn't spend much, like $20. You get the followers for like a couple weeks and then they just disappear. Like they all go and you don't get them back. So that doesn't really work. We tried. So this is like a nice organic way to do it, and they stay. And you'll notice with this, I like this approach because it really has you focusing on liking and commenting on other people's stuff, which in return is going to get you more engagement on your photos and getting like your photos seen more. Because Instagram is now very much like Facebook with like algorithms and stuff. So it doesn't just matter how many followers you have. They want you actually engaging on other people's posts. And like we all like getting likes, right? So do other people. So make sure you're not just focusing on your followers. Make sure you're liking, commenting, stuff like that. So yeah, Instagram is definitely the place to be. It's kind of scary. And I know like I'm not someone that likes to talk, like even these team calls and stuff, like I dread them. I'm just, I don't know. I'm not much of a public speaker, and like Naomi said, you don't have to talk on them right away. And the nice thing with Instagram is you don't have to go live. Like, you know, your first time, you can like take 20 friggin' videos and delete them until you find one you like, you know, but just once you get in the habit, it kind of just becomes second nature, like posting and everything did in the beginning. You get more comfortable and you'll start to like not care and like realize that when you post funny things and like people like that and they reach out to you and they laugh at you and then you like, it starts a conversation, right? So people want to know that we're actually real people, that we're, you know, not just like, I don't know, whatever. And they like to see what we're doing behind the scenes. And like, I know Naomi said this too about Instagram stories. So I always try to show like 1 to 2 moves from each of my workouts on my story. And I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me, like saying they've been following my stories. And that's what's making them want to do the program, because they feel it's something like that's achievable for them, but they've been watching for like a while. So it's kind of cool. Like it gives people that little sneak peek, and like try to be vague about it. Cause I always just say like, oh, I'm doing an 80-day program. So today I had a girl message me like, oh, like what 80-day program are you doing? I don't ever say like 80-Day Obsession by Autumn Calabrese. Like I try to leave all that stuff out if I can. So anyway, so for posting, so now they're suggesting we do one post on Instagram and Facebook a day. So instead of the 3 to 5, like try to get that out of your head and just think, okay, one good post a day. And it's like, give me the same one. Like I always do the same one on Instagram and Facebook. And they really are like pushing to start focusing on your stories. So just little like clips of your day. So I kind of try to do a pattern with mine. So I try to always share like my Shakeology, my 3 clips from my workouts. Then I'll try to always talk after my workouts just about like how it went, any struggles, if I'm inviting to a challenge group, if I have one coming up, maybe a sneak peek. You know, sometimes meals. I never really used to share meals because I suck at cooking and I felt like they're always just not nice looking. But then I think it was Haley Christensen or whatever her name is that said, she's like, I suck at cooking and I'm just going to show people that my food looks like shit, but it still tastes good and I'm getting results. And I'm like, you know what, that's true. Like I would never post the photo on my Instagram, but to show people on my Insta story where it's going to be gone in 24 hours, they see I'm human. And like, you know, I just started eating eggs like a couple weeks ago, so I suck at it. But you know, it's a work in progress. So just little things like that. Like you'd be surprised what other people relate to and what makes them like reach out to you and, you know, just starts a conversation, right? It might not be about Beachbody, but then you're just building that relationship and eventually it will come up. So sorry, I'm talking about stories too much. Okay, so posting. So if you're ever stuck on what to post, because I know that can be hard sometimes, so pick 5 things. Like sit down and think about 5 things that make you you. You know, like if you're a mom, if you're like a fur baby mom, if you like traveling, if you like fashion, if you like nail polish, if you like makeup. 5 things that kind of brand you, like that make you stand out. Like mine, I try to do, like people know I like pineapple stuff, like the pizza and donut thing, Maple Leafs, hockey, and then obviously like fitness. I do my nails a lot too. Like I get them done. So that's kind of part of it, but I try not to go like too far outside of that. Right. They say to kind of like pick 5 or 6 things and make that your brand and like post about that. And don't just like randomly all of a sudden say like, okay, well now I'm knitting. You know what I mean? Try to keep like a good little flow with your stuff. So I know that helped me a lot in the beginning, just having a list in my phone. I just wrote down like 5 things about myself and I would just pick things like to post about because again, like I know Naomi said this, we don't want to just talk about fitness and Beachbody because people want to know that like, you know, we have other hobbies or interests. And it was hard for me at first because I was like, I don't do anything. Like I don't have kids yet. I don't have animals. I was like, I'm boring. Like I watch Netflix. Like I can't just post about watching Netflix. So it took me a bit to kind of think about it. But once you find some things, and if you need help, like just ask. And I mean, we're always here to help each other come up with things about you, but just try to pick something from that every day and share about it. Cause they've always said like 80% should be about you and your life because people want to get to know you. That's what's going to make them reach out to you as opposed to another coach because they feel that connection with you. So it's good to be yourself. You know, you don't want to try to be anyone else. People are going to like you. And then 20% is going to be about the business. So 20% do those invites, like to a sneak peek or a challenge group or whatever. Because I find like sometimes I'm bad with like, I'll realize, oh crap, my last 3 posts I invited to a challenge group, which isn't necessarily bad, but then it's like, I feel like that's almost salesy. So you just have to watch, like keep a good balance of just like nice, light stuff, like light posts, even just a quote, or like if you're out doing something with the family or whatever, and then slide in those, you know, call to actions and stuff so that people aren't just like, oh, there's Jen, like trying to get us to buy something again. So yeah, one good post on Facebook and Instagram a day. You should be really trying to post once a day if you can, just because again, with how things are nowadays, like not everyone sees your posts. So if you aren't being consistent, your stuff's not going to get seen as much. Like you could have 5,000 friends on Facebook and maybe only 30 people are seeing your stuff if you're not like consistently posting. The more consistent you are, the more people are going to see your stuff. Quality photos. So Naomi gave a lot of really good apps. Make sure you're using them. And I know like we don't want to obviously like over edit and like make it look, you know, like, oh my God, like she looks like fake and plastic or something. But hey, if that's what you want to do and that works for you, great. But I don't know who it was. I want to say the Fitzpatricks or something at an event. Someone said like, you need to edit your photos. Everyone edits their photos in this business. Like it's not a bad thing. Like don't feel weird and whatever. Use filters. Like find a filter. Like I'm now trying to use this one filter for all of my posts if I can. Sometimes it makes my pictures look weird and I can't use it depending, but I'm trying to do like a kind of theme on my Instagram so it looks kind of all the same. And like that catches people's attention. So you have to think Instagram is very like about eye-catching photos. And then of course, so that's what's going to stop people. And then you want obviously good content for them to read, right? But sometimes like I find we overthink it and we want this big, long, like drawn out post where we have to tell our whole life story. You don't have to do that every day. Like sometimes you can just do literally a quote with a nice picture of you. Some days like, you know, post a tip or trick. Like if you found a yummy like recipe or a good something to get a stain out of a shirt, like anything. And then like just have that balance, like your workouts and eating, have that balance with your posts too. And then, you know, once in a while do those big long ones that talks about your story or, you know, inviting and stuff like that. Because sometimes we overthink posts. I just heard, I think it was Melanie Mitra on the Wake Up Call. She said, if you spend more than 5 minutes on a post, it's not real. It's not authentic. It's not going to sound like you. And I am bad for that. Like, trust me, there are days I sit, I feel like for 30 minutes and like I'm going back, I'm changing words, I'm whatever. But then it's like those days where I just type it and yeah, you go back and edit it obviously, but those are good. So I kind of thought about that. So I'm trying to spend less time on my posting because it does take up a lot of your time and it gets like super overwhelming and you're just like, you get frustrated. So try to just be you, whatever comes to your head, post about it. If it's something funny, if it's something serious, if it's, you know, and just go with it. Have a plan. So this is something Naomi and I are going to work on trying to get like a calendar or something together on like things we can focus on each week. Like in terms of Instagram stories and like posting, because I know sometimes I'm like all over the place with my stories or my posting and I don't really have a good flow. But I find if you like look at your month and you're like, okay, we have a sneak peek this week, your challenge group starts this week, then you can kind of plan your posts around that, right? So like first week of the month, gear your stories and your posts kind of towards your challenge group. Then the second week of the month, kind of gear stuff towards talking more about the coaching like aspect so that you can throw in an invite to that and so on. So having a bit of a plan, so that will require you obviously looking ahead and like planning a bit ahead. But I find it definitely like if I just like leave 10 extra minutes at the end of my power hour or something to plan like posts for the next day, what I'm going to talk about, it's a lot easier and you don't feel like so scrambled and like rushed the next day. Another thing that helped me, because I used to really struggle, I still kind of do, with posting about the coaching, like about coaching in general. I can post about my challenge groups and working out and stuff, no problem. But I was just attracting challengers, customers, and not coaches. And obviously, if you want to build this business, you need both, right? You need coaches and you need customers. So like Jake's story, most of you guys know him. He would always say like, Jen, like people know you work out. You need to talk about coaching more. And I was just like, I don't know how. So he had me write out a list of 30 things that I like about coaching or that it's done for me. The list is still in my phone. And every day I fell out of doing this habit before Christmas, but I got to get back into it. But every day he's like, just pick something off of that list and slide it into your post. It doesn't have to be, like I said, like some big call to action, like join my team. But just slide in like what coaching, like, and it could be about health and fitness, like that you've developed better eating habits. Like for me, a big thing is like, I've gotten over my obsession with the scale. So if I never joined as a coach, like that wouldn't have happened. So just things like that, like we often get caught up with, well, we haven't hit some big, huge like money goal, so we can't share about the opportunity. But that's so not true, because I guarantee if you sit down and think about it, you've had a lot of like small successes or small achievements, and those are huge to some people. If you got a paycheck that put gas in your car, share that. Like that could be huge to someone. And again, like for me with the scale, or I used to not eat a lot, and like just all those things, like people relate to that. And it's when I share stuff like that about me and like things I don't think are a big deal, that's when I get people reaching out to me. They're like, wow, like I can really relate to everything you just said. So when you have a few minutes, sit down and write out 30 things that you love about coaching, the community, the workouts, whatever, or what it's done for you, what drew you to the business. Like when you signed up as a coach, what made you sign up as a coach? Like what did you see on social media that attracted you? Because chances are if you're doing that, it's going to attract other people. So that really helped me. And again, like notes in my phone, I have so much stuff saved in there. It's like my go-to. So I have that, like 30 things, and then your brand, like your 5 things to kind of talk about like who you are. So that can be in your stories and your posts. But yeah, basically just like the biggest thing is consistency, you guys. I can't stress enough how important it is to be consistent and post every single day. I know it's hard, but I feel like now that we don't have the pressure to post 3 times a day, once a day should be okay. And like Naomi said, you can schedule them now. Like I used to use Hootsuite, and I don't remember why I stopped, but I think I just got in such a habit. Like, I don't know, posting now is just like brushing my teeth. I just do it. And it's such a like vital part of, my success in this business and stuff. So it's like, I almost feel now if I don't post, like I'm doing a disservice to my followers or something like that. So once you get in the habit of doing it, I promise you will, like, you'll do it all the time. And don't get me wrong, like some days I draw a complete blank and I'm like, I don't know what to post. So I just do a quote, take a picture of myself. I do a quote or something funny, or like I said, it can even be like a recipe. Ask a question, ask people their opinions. That's still a big thing. People love to give their opinions. Try not to overthink it. So that is honestly my biggest piece of advice on posting, is just make sure you're doing it every day. And then you can tweak it. Like if you get posting every day, you guys, for a month, you're going to see what's working well on your page and what's not. You're going to see what times a day are working well, what times are not. And then that's just how you learn. Like some posts you're going to be like, wow, like that was a crappy post. But then you learn and you won't do it again. And then you're going to post something, you're going to be like, wow, that was a good post. Lots of people engaged on it. So you'll do that again. It's all like, this business is so much about failing forward, but you have to try, because again, what works for me isn't always going to work for you guys. So you have to just try different things. But just make sure you're doing it. And people aren't perfect. No one's perfect. No one's going to relate to perfect. So just be you, have fun. Like Instagram stories and stuff like that. Like I'm still super shy, so I don't get too crazy on them, but I'm still doing them. It's, it's a work in progress. But that's kind of me too, right? Like I'm not loud and outgoing, and that's me, right? So anyway, I think that's all I have. I feel like it's like I have my notes, so I feel like I just talked about nothing that whole time. This is what I mean. I hate public speaking.
No, Jen, that was awesome. You had all
And I'm hungry.
all the info.
I'm hangry.
Does anybody have any questions about posting?
Questions? Yes. No?
I don't have a question. I have a thing to add though.
Okay. Yeah. Add.
I was just going to say about the location. So for your stories, you can add in, a location, whether like me, I live in London right now, so I add London a lot, but you can add other places. Like I put Toronto, I put Ottawa. So then those story viewers will see it, and it has upped my like viewing by hundreds.
Yeah.
So that's something you can do with Insta Story.
And you can hide it too, guys. So you can stick it. So if you add like some silly place just so that it shows up to other people, just put it behind your font. Yeah. So that nobody knows that you tagged the place, but if they search that place, your story or your post or whatever will come up.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not always put in the location because like I locate London a lot. Like I would say maybe 7 out of 9 get it. And then the rest of the time it's just your regular viewers or whatever you hashtag.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's a very good point. And I'm good with it, and then I'll forget. Actually, it's funny. Tonight I just, because I was talking about LA that I'm going next week, so I did LA as my location in a few of them, and I hit it though because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll break in the whole whatever. But yes, locations and hashtags. That's one big thing Jatana said at Super Saturday was you should add a location and a hashtag to every single story.
Yes.
And again, sometimes I'm in a hurry and my phone's weird. My location doesn't always load. I'll try it like 4 times and it just keeps kicking me out. So I can't. But definitely if you can, that's huge because it's just going to bring your thing up more. And I always put a location on my post now too. I usually just put Ontario. Sometimes I put Belleville, Ontario, and tag people. If you're ever wearing in your post, if you're wearing, Nike, Adidas, anything like tag. Because again, it'll just bring your posts up in more places and more people see it.
Yeah. And I had like my dry shampoo that I use, they actually featured me in their story. So then, and tagged me in it. So then all of those followers then saw my story because I tagged them in it. So there's always that potential. It's not going to happen every time because I tag lots of things in my stories and they'll shoot me a private message like a heart or thanks for showing us or whatever. But the time, like the 1 out of 10 where I got featured in their story, amazing. So make sure you're tagging things in it for that one time out of however many.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool when that stuff happens. Like same thing, like the Love Fitness apparel. Like I tag them every time I wear their stuff, but they featured me once. Obviously, I know they're not gonna do it again, probably. But I was like, that was cool. Like
I saw that.
Really cool. I was like,
yeah, I've done that with Nike Pro too, and it's like a lot of people are looking for hashtags is like the new thing too. Yeah. Like you can search by hashtags now.
Yeah, you can follow hashtags now.
I haven't really gotten into it, but
hashtags have definitely made a big comeback. That's why like social media is so tough to stay on top of, you guys. So, it's all a learning curve, but definitely Instagram is this.
Where's that?
But I'll never forget about Facebook. Facebook has grown me and my business. My challenge groups will always be on Facebook. I don't do Facebook stories yet. I just never have. Instagram, just one thing's enough for me. I get too overwhelmed and shy. And
you can link your Instagram to your Facebook story so it goes just automatically. And you can also choose, because like some things I choose just to have as my Instagram story and I don't want to share it to Facebook as well. You can just slide the unchoose to like Facebook for the one photo or whatever or video.
I didn't know that. How do you do that?
It's in your settings. I'll have to go back and check. I'll figure it out. It's easy, but
okay.
That's how all of my stuff is linked. I don't double do that. No.
Yeah, I just assumed you guys were all doing 2 separate things.
Oh God, no.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, or like saving it and uploading it there. I didn't know.
I do have to say though, that's like an example, at least for me personally, like the amount of views on my Insta stories to the amount of views on when I've done Facebook stories before, like not even comparable. So I guess it's kind of like right there, sort of a sign that it is kind of like it's shifted, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But like Facebook has so many other uses. So like Jen said, it's not going anywhere. We're all going to still use it, but I think we just need to learn how to use our Facebook and how to use our Instagram and go with that.
Facebook, I find, is more like tight knit. You know what I mean? Like, like just your friends, your family, like people you're closer to. Like, I don't know. Whereas Instagram, I feel like it's just you have the opportunity to reach so many more people with hashtags and all of that stuff. So they're both still good.
Totally.
But you just have
something like a little bit off topic, and I've mentioned this. We talked about it a little bit on our page. Just how you're talking about how Instagram is like so much more broad and there's so many people out there to reach through Instagram. That if you guys are struggling with your messages every day, like everybody should be messaging like 5 people a day, every single day. If you're struggling with that, Instagram is where it's at then, because it's a little less personal at first, that you don't feel like you're putting yourself out there. And then if it's a big no, you never have to see that person, right? Where you just have that option. Like Facebook just feels so much closer that, oh my God, I might run into that person at the grocery store and they said no to me or whatever. Where Instagram, you can like put yourself out there and you never have to see them again. So just know, if any of you are struggling with your messages or finding new people or any of that, Instagram, go there.
That's so true. Because I get so many. I get at least one a day on Instagram now. It's usually I don't know what company it is. Usually It Works, I want to say.
Oh God.
A lot of those pages. And it's very, you can tell it's so copy and pasted. Hey girl, I love your page. Do you want to be a model for my product at my discount? It's literally all the same. And I'm just like, I always reply and I'm nice. I'm just like, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me. And I just tell them, like, I actually like have my own, you know, workouts and like products and stuff. So I'm okay. And I just like, I thank them. And that's what makes me think, like, we're worried sometimes to like approach people, but we're actually, you know, just saying hi and like genuinely, like, I don't know. So just, I don't know. That helps me like get over my fear of messaging people, because there's so many people out there that do it, right? Especially on Instagram. So
Totally.
I got one at like 11:45 on Facebook, like last week or maybe a week before that. Someone was asking me, never ever talked to her in my life, and she asked me if I could help her out with her business before midnight, quarterly sales, and buy a $25 worth product. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no. And I responded back to her, and I was kind of politely nice, and just said that no, thank you. She doesn't even know what I'm interested or anything like that. So how would she be able to sell me a product?
Yeah.
And kind of just left it off like that, and said that if you're kind of attracting people that way, you're not going to get a business.
No, I had
So
that.
I was politely,
Yeah, you need.
but it aggravates me.
It does. Like, because I would never, like, we all have goals. I would never message someone, hey, like, I really need to hit Success Club. Like, would you mind buying a package? Like, I couldn't imagine someone to do that ever. But yeah, no, that I've had a few girls do that from Unique. They're like, can you just buy a mascara or something? No.
Yeah.
If I need
Blows my mind.
But yeah, so that's funny.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Any other things to
Or
add?
does anybody have any like apps that we didn't talk about that they want that you could share with everybody else, or anything like that either?
Canva I use.
Oh, Canva. That is a good
Yeah.
one.
That's the one I use for like my challenge groups. Like it has
your
it like
Facebook?
Facebook. Yeah. Like a cover photo, like actual layout. So like, I know I struggled with, I forget what the other one was for a while.
PicMonkey?
Yeah, that one. Because it kept trying to get me to pay for it, and I could never go to the 3 one. And then I could never get the cover layout. So Canvas is I use.
Yeah. And then, sorry, what I just thought of this, Haley, when you said Canva, Typorama is another good one. So Typorama is very similar to Canva, but I actually find Typorama easier.
Okay.
Yeah. But it could just be me too, but it's another good one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a creature of habit. So I paid it was like $47 for the year of PicMonkey, but creature of habit, and I couldn't get Canva. Everyone raved about it, and I was like, I just don't know how to use it.
It is good.
So.
I don't have an what's it called? Like an Apple laptop. But I do have an iPhone, so I use iMovie, and in my challenge groups, I'll add like a couple clips and then like texting in iMovie for my challenge groups.
Oh.
You can use that as an app instead of like pick, play, post.
I have an Android. Oh, I can't wait. March, I'm going back to an iPhone. Just for this, honestly, alone, Beachbody, I feel like all the apps, iPhone gets everything first, and iPhone gets a lot of apps that Android doesn't get, or they're just not good. So yeah, I'm making the switch back.
I'm trying to think of other ones. I just don't know because I'm using my phone right now. So I have like other apps, but I just don't remember what they're called. I can like upload them in the group or whatever after.
Yeah. Just because then everybody, like, it's nice if everybody kind of gives each other tips on that. And then
Yeah.
using awesome apps.
Like there's like a Photoshop one that you can make you look bomb.com.
There is a lot out there. I feel like
Yeah.
I definitely Photoshop ones I feel like are definitely personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many too, so you just have to play around. Facetune, I love Facetune.
I think that's the one I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orange.
Gone.
Yeah.
My
Even like mirror speckles, you can just press it and it gets rid of it.
on my
That's so funny.
My boyfriend and I took a picture of our shoes the one day because we were wearing matching shoes, and there was a cigarette butt on the ground, and it just ruined the pictures. So I took it right out of the picture. Like,
Yeah.
Creepy.
awesome. It's such a good app.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
And I think it's free. I'm pretty sure it's free. Maybe if $2 if anything, but yeah, that's a good app.
I think. Yeah. It's worth it for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
That's when you can kind of like blur if you ever want to blur or defocus like your background and stuff. That one's good for that.
I use no crop sometimes for that as well.
Yeah.
So if like your photo, if you're uploading it to Instagram and it's because when you're taking a photo on your iPhone and if you use the actual photo versus if you go over to Square is the actual layout that uploads to Instagram. So instead of using a full photo, you're going to cut yourself off. So if you use the Square version, you got to go back a little bit because it's like what I see right now is you guys are cut off on the laptops there and I'm full screen. But it'll upload, your picture, how you take it. If not, then download no crop and your regular photo, you can minimize it a little bit in either a black background or white, or it's like blurred. But yeah, it's like, it's a way of minimizing and maximizing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good app too, actually.
Yeah.
I have that one too.
They're coming back to me. But I think that's it.
I think those are the two main ones I use. Looking at your little
I know, Liv's like, there she is.
Oh,
I was gonna say
Everyone.
hi.
well, if no one has any questions or anything else to add, I need to eat.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I'm starving.
Wait, I want a picture.
Okay.
Ready, lady? Awesome.
I wasn't sure if Jen took one randomly when we all weren't paying attention. You did.
You did.
Way early.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Well, because I always just want to make sure I get one, and I usually forget to ask, like, for everyone to smile. But don't worry, I just goes on my story, and
I don't care.
I wouldn't post it if anyone
Me too.
looks crazy. Everyone's just
It's always just on my story too.
yeah.
Oh, it's whatever. I would have screenshot it. You guys know me, but I can't. I can only see 4 of us right now.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, you
Mine is cut out.
Oh, does it change the layout?
Jen, I swear it's at the end, my internet connection.
Oh yeah.
No, it just shows
Oh.
score. No.
Weird.
Oh well. Okay.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you all for being on. And if anyone thinks of anything else and added questions, just post. I'll upload this in our little Zoom section. And yeah, maybe we could, I don't know, get a thread going of all these apps or something.
Take like screenshots of your phone, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So then people know exactly what one to download when they're going.
Yeah. That is a good idea. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay,
start
cool.
part of that in the team page because that is a good idea. And sometimes there's a lot, like there's ones with the same names and so it's good to know, the icon. Cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Bye. Next frozen.
Yeah, she is.
Sorry.
Okay.
Am I back now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed the last part there.
We're just gonna screenshot our apps.
Okay.
Start a little thread in the team page.
Cool.
Everyone can see what we got.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Bye, ladies.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.